Hello everyone. Welcome to my first attempt at live streaming. Today my plan for this live stream is I just have this little idea for a open source project that has been kind of in the back of my mind for a while, and I finally have a few minutes to my first attempt at live streaming. I'm already messing up the live stream thing. I need to mute myself. So this idea has been in the back of my mind for a while, and I finally have a few minutes to sit down and work on it. Probably not a lot of time today, but the goal is to put in a good 30 minutes and at least get a project up on GitHub and kind of get that first commit in of what the shell of the project is and a little bit of a description of what the project will do. So the idea is that I've been using App Insights for a while now on a lot of projects, and every time I bring it into a new project, there's a few things I need to do to kind of get the most out of App Insights, and I feel like I've written that same code over and over again for every project. So the idea is to create an open source project that will publish a few NuGet packages out of that will contain some of those some of that common code that I've been writing over and over again. All right, so to get things started, we're going to create a new repository in GitHub, and I'm going to do that under our Asp.Net monsters repo here. And it has been a while since I've created a new repo, so I assume I click the new button, there we go. And I'm going to just call this application insights. A collection of we'll call them for now Telemetry Initializers. If you're not familiar with App Insights, you might not know what that means, but once we get into this, you'll kind of see what I mean there to help you get the most out of application insights for .NET Core apps. It is a public repo. We're going to use the standard .NET git ignore here. .NET Visual Studio, that's the one I wanted. And with open source projects, you should always have a license. I'm going to do the MIT license, and because, well, there's actually a really good website here that you can look at to help you decide what type of license to use. I go with MIT because that's the one that's the simplest and most permissive, and that's basically what I want, and it's the one that's kind of most common, I think, for .NET Core open source libraries, so that's the one I'm going to stick with. But if you ever want to review and kind of better understand what open source licenses are, this is a really good resource for that. Okay, creating the repo. GitHub Actions. We're gonna definitely won't have time to get into this today, but one of the things I want to explore with this project is using GitHub Actions to do my builds and publish the NuGet packages. So that'll be an interesting thing to look at later on. But for now, we'll just leave that, and I'm going to clone that locally. So just gonna copy that here and git clone. All right, I have my repo here. Now it's time for the thing you don't actually get to do very often in the real world, is create a new project here. So this is actually just going to be initially a .NET standard class library, and I want to place that in C drive dev monsters. This is my root library, and the project name, so the actual assembly that I want to create here, what I want to do is call it Asp.Net monsters dot application insights. This one I'm going to call, kind of trying to decide if I want to call it .core, one that's going to contain those core pieces. I'm envisioning there'll be more than just one library NuGet package here. I'm thinking there'll be one that's just the .NET, or just my telemetry initializers that can be used in kind of any .NET project that's using application insights, and then I'm going to have a second package that will have the additional pieces that you need if it's an Asp.NET core project. So that'll have the things that you need to, for example, to register the initializers with the dependency injection as part of your startup.cs. So I'm just kind of going back and forth here on what I'm going to call it. I think I'll just go with Asp.NET monsters.application insights. Helpers. I think I'll just go Asp.NET monsters.application insights. We'll leave it at that. Naming is, as they always say, the hardest thing. Here we go. Create. Yes, class 1, the file that nobody actually wants in their libraries when they create them. So first thing we'll do is delete that. Okay, so first thing I'm going to need in here is actually a reference to the Application Insights SDK. So I'm just going to do a search here for, I need to make sure I get the right package here. I believe this is the one, yes, Application Insights Base API. Provides the core functionality for all the other SDKs. That's the one I want, so I'm going to install that. Now, what I actually want to do here is create it, now that I have that reference in here, so there's my reference to the App Insights SDK, and I'm going to create a folder here. Normally I'd put this in like a Telemetry Initializers folder. And the one that I'm looking for, this is one, as I said, that I create all the time, and we have done a video in our weekly series on this. It's the one that sets the cloud role name for your applications. So I just call it the cloud role name telemetry initializer. And it implements telemetry Initializer, which is something I always struggle to spell correctly. It looks like I got it right this time. And we need to implement one method for a telemetry initializer called initialize that then acts on the telemetry there. So what I want to do with the cloud role name initializer is pass in a cloud role name that will apply to all the telemetry that gets sent by this application that uses this initializer. So that's just going to be a string that gets passed in here. We'll use constructor to pass it in initially. I'm not sure if that's the right way, but that's what I'm going to do for now. So cloud role name, and we're going to say public. We're going to pass that in, generate a constructor here. And now all we need to do here is telemetry dot context dot, I'm just going by memory. Yeah, okay, so cloud dot role name equals cloud role name. And that's it. That's the whole initializer. It's not much, but like I said, it's something that I seem to be adding to every single application that I create these days. So be nice if it was just in a package that I could reference easily, rather than rebuilding this every time. So that's kind of version 1 of my little open source .NET project. So I might as well start with a commit of of all this initial stuff here. So git status. It's funny, I actually don't use Git on a daily basis these days because my main project on my day job is using SVN, which is obviously not what most modern places are using these days, but we're looking to make the switch soon, just haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, I end up kind of forgetting how to use Git a little bit. I think what I'm going to do here is actually go to Team Explorer and just get a visual on the files, just to make sure that it's adding the right things. Yep. So I think if I just do, yeah, I'm just going to do an add on stage all these things and do an initial commit. So this is my cloud role name, Telemetry Initializer. And we'll push that up to, that might not work from there. I'm going to have to come back to the command line to do this. So we'll push this up to GitHub. There we go, we got our first bits up in the cloud. Okay, so a few things that I'm going to want to do here for publishing, and maybe for the first round here we're just going to do some of this stuff manually, but there's a bunch of properties that I can set here in my CS proj file. So things like the publisher name, which is going to be the Asp.Net monsters, my initial version, we'll call it version 1, and copyright, things like a description, .NET Core applications. And what else do we want to put in here? There's, actually that's probably enough for now. Targeting .NET Standard 2, because then this can be used by kind of the broadest range of .NET applications, anything that supports .NET Standard 2. So that should be all I need to do here. And then if I wanted to do like a manual build of this, and then just kind of do a manual upload into over to NuGet just as an initial implementation, I'm going to do that from the command line. So from here, where am I? I'm going to go into the project folder. I'm going to do a .NET publish -c for configuration. We'll do release config. And I think, but don't remember for sure because it's been a while since I've done this, that will create a see what that built for us. Okay, so that didn't build a package for me. That's okay. I just can't remember how to do that, so let's take a look. What am I forgetting? Oh yes, we do need a package ID. And we said we wanted that to be ASP.NET Monsters dot application insights. else did we need here? Back to the documentation. .NET pack was the command that I wanted, not publish. There's also the option to automatically do that every time you do a build, but I think I'll probably just do it manually for the time being. And I want to do that for the release configuration. Okay, so there should be a nupkeg in my folder now. Right there. Perfect. So eventually, as I said, I want to get this all automated using GitHub Actions, but for now, let's just go log into NuGet. I'm just signing in here on the other screen. Okay, so I can go and upload packages manually here just by dragging and dropping them in. So I am going to do that here. Missing lots of info here that I want to fill in next time. Those are things that we can actually do through those CS proj properties. So things like the title, I got the description in there, but I am missing a bunch of other things, links to the project URL, which will be the GitHub repo, to a license file, which is also hosted on the GitHub repo. But for now, yes, we'll list this in the package results, and well, published files should have a license. Yes, they should. You know what? Let's just go and add those now. So we need the license URL. We might as well get a little bit closer to having everything that we want in here. Title. Title, summary, which is what's shown on the package search page. Is that something I can set here? Apparently not. So I'm curious about that now, because I thought we could. Now what I'm going to do is go check one of my existing libraries, because I know I've done this before. Let's see what I have set up for some of these other libraries. Package project URL, assembly title, authors I should have in there as well. Tags is a good thing to have in there too, because that helps with the search. Repository. That'll all be really good stuff to have in. So tags will be application insights. I'm going to put app insights there because I don't know how smart the search is at finding things that are similar. I'll start with that. Let's grab the GitHub URL. Should be this one. And the license URL, which I can just reference like so. And my Git URL. Just copy this guy here. Okay, let's do a new .NET pack and see what that looks like when I upload it to NuGet. Cancel. New one from 740. License URL element is deprecated. Okay. Consider using license instead. Is it prod package license? It's confusing. I guess we'll give that a try, see if that works. Cancel. It is not liking that. I'm going to put it back to URL even though it's telling me that was deprecated. We're just going to use it because at least it gets the info in there. And we'll sort through that another time. That is weird. I'm not sure which one it's suggesting because when maybe it's just IntelliSense is failing me that it doesn't see a license. There's license URL, license file, license expression. Oh well. We'll just go with the deprecated thing for now. Cancel that one. So we do get the license URL, we see the owner, our version, package ID, title, tag. We forgot about the summary. Is there a summary here? Is there ability to do that? Package summary maybe? No, I'm not sure how to get that in there. That's okay for now. We'll need to get an icon as well down the road, but for now, this is good. I think let's preview it. Oh, there's nothing to preview there. We'll submit it, and that package should be up there now. So I don't know how much more I'll do today. I think what I'm going to do is just test this, make sure that I can actually consume the package, and then next time I'll work on writing up some documentation and maybe putting together some tests. Daryl saying I had no idea you could drag and drop upload to NuGet. That is a feature that's been there ever since I've been using NuGet. That's probably not the best way to do it, but at least for the first try, it's a way to get your initial package uploaded. After that, what I've done in the past is, like for example, those tag helper samples, I have it all automated through AppVeyor. So it's using, actually can't remember what it's using exactly. I guess there's must be a REST API that it uses to push the packages up, and then the updates just happen automatically for me when I do a build. So, okay, let's create another new project here. So. Just confirm that I can consume this thing. Actually, no, I'm not going to do a new one. What I'm going to do is open an existing one. I have a package already called a weather service, I think it is. Where is my weather service? Bear with me here while I find my code that's all over the place. Okay, so this is an example of an app where I had to go and create this cloud role name initializer already. So what I want to do is we're going to pull that out of here. I'm just going to delete it. And then I'm going to go reference my new NuGet package. I just got a notification to my watch that a NuGet package was published to my account. I kind of forgot that I get notifications for that. That's kind of neat. Daryl always uses the NuGet command line tool, NuGet push. That makes sense. Also a good way to do it, which I suppose is probably what my AppVeyor stuff is doing behind the scenes as well. Okay, let's browse and see if Asp.Net monsters dot application insights. Is it going to find it yet? How long does it take for this stuff to get indexed? I'm not loving the way it does these search results. There's a lot of stuff here that has nothing to do with what I searched for. Weird. Okay. Let's see, does it say it's been published yet? Package has not been indexed. It will appear in your search results after indexing is complete. I think that I can probably go and do this way though, even though it hasn't been indexed yet, so let's give that a try. There we go. So we should see that dependency in here now. There it is. And in my startup here now, what I'm going to do is, instead of creating that guy there, I think with a singleton. So the way you register these telemetry initializers is you just, within an Asp.Net core app with App Insights, you start by saying services.add application insights telemetry, and then you just register as a singleton any telemetry initializers that you want to add. So I think I can just pass in an instance of the implementation here, so I'm hoping I can just say cloud role name telemetry initializer. I'm hoping that will find it in my, there it is. So I'm going to add the using statement to pull that in from my package, and then I just have to give it a name. So this was my weather service. And what I'm going to do here is just add a, actually, how can I test this? Let's run it and just see if, I should see the telemetry flowing through within Visual Studio here. Build failed. I deleted that telemetry initializer. That was the only thing in the weather service namespace, so I had to remove that using statement. Okay, so I'm hoping what I can see is the telemetry flowing through here, and if everything worked the way I expect it to, let's do all update. So here's some request telemetry, and I'm hoping that I can see the details here on the right hand side. And there's my role name. It says weather service. So that was successful. Let me just double check that that actually worked the way I thought it did. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to change what I passed in for that telemetry initializer. Okay, weather service test. So I would expect now, as soon as the browser starts here, it creates a request to the main weather forecast endpoint, which Application Insights picks up as request telemetry and sends that over to App Insights. And then because I registered my telemetry initializer here, it's setting the cloud role name to whatever I told it to set it to. And if I just update this here to see the new, I always get a little bit confused with this screen. Okay, here's my new one, I think, from 749, yeah. Request details, I would expect to see here that my cloud role name now is weather service _ test. And it is, so this appears to be working. I'd like to, as I said, add some tests to this and add a little more automation to get some workflow in there with GitHub Actions, and of course some documentation, because an open source project with a NuGet package and no documentation is useful to only the person that created it, because nobody else is going to know how to use your special little project. So that is all the time I have for today. I hope to do this semi-regularly at least, because I have a few ideas for different telemetry initializers that we can put in here. I hope that it's something that people find useful, but if not, I hope that just kind of seeing the pieces involved in getting an open source project started up and a package published to NuGet, I hope that's helpful for people. And if you have feedback, please let me know in the comments so I know what I can do better next time. Thanks, and that's all for today.